stay on my the writers have written brilliant art. Otherwise I just stay and look at the fact of fools and no righteousness.
I can see why you would be interested in playing this character. She's fascinating, and
she really is.
Yeah.
She was a big challenge and really fun to play in that way, you know.
yeah. Had you had any inkling of this before, or how did it come to you?
I was familiar with Gillian's work.
Yeah.
There was a adaptation of Dark Places that I had looked at. And then, of course, Gone Girl. And so I was a big fan of her work and the complex characters that she created for women to play. And when this came across my desk, so to speak, it's terrified me. And I thought, yeah, I should probably explore this. And then Jean-Marc came aboard, and we were really lucky to have his unique vision.
Talk about Camille. I mean, here she is. She's a journalist. She's sent on an assignment, essentially, to what turns out to be her hometown. And everything gets so complicated for her in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think her relationship with her family and her history, her past, is very complicated. And I think the town itself has its own history that needs to sort of be resolved throughout the course of the show. And I think that's something that a lot of people can identify with, is this idea of returning to one's past and the way that that draws us back into unresolved history. And I think hers is just very, very extreme.
Definitely. Jean-Marc, it's so unique, the filmmaking style here, too. It's with the flashbacks and the editing style of it. How difficult was it to adapt, essentially, this book and bring it on screen with all these internal thoughts, and how you made it visual here?
Well, it starts with writers. So Marty Noxon and Gillian were the two creative writing forces behind it, and I was surprised that they didn't want to go with a voiceover.
Right. There is no voiceover.
There is no voiceover because this is the quality #1 of the book. It's so powerful the way this character is her angle on the world, her family, the way she talks about her wounds, the way she talks about her sexuality, her cutting. And so at the beginning, I was really, you're not putting any voiceover there. That's suicide, no? They're going to compare the series to the book, and we're going to get fucked. And, and apparently we didn't. And they started to use this way of going back and forth on the page, on the writing in episode 1 and 2. I remember these flashbacks, you know, and blending them in a way, and then on the set we decided to push that further and asking the actors to come to try some, you know, to integrate more these moments of past and present, and even more in the cutting room. And then it became a thing with the words. When she was feeling that a word was burning on her body, of course in the book it was an easy thing, she just talked about it. But how would we translate that into this medium? We had some ideas on the set, but it became clear in the cutting room, and she was going to see the words in her reality. So from her perspective, we see the words very briefly, very, 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 very fast, and that's when a word is burning on her body. And from other perspectives, we don't see these words, only her. And it was amazing to try to develop this character through what she was thinking, and her past and all her thoughts, and going into her head, but stay in the present at the same time. And so that's what we did.